In our home city of Boston, Massachusetts, a major digital transformation is underway as the city modernizes and expands its citizen services. So Jay, what was the vision behind transforming Boston's non-emergency 311 citizen services?
People describe the basic city services that we offer as sort of the spine of the city. So if you're a resident and you want to get a pothole filled, if you want to report a street light is out, if you want to see that a signal intersection with a traffic signal isn't working and you want the city to know, you need a place to report that, right? So about 15 years ago, the city set up its 311 system. And now that has expanded over a number of years to include, a 24/7 call center and an app where people can report these services. That technology has aged to the point where it really wasn't all that functional. So we have been in the process of rebuilding, ripping out what we have, root and branch, and rebuilding it for a modern age where we can provide just more, with better services, be more responsive to our residents when they have a problem.
What were some of the main pain points that you're working to try to address as you modernize the system?
15-year-old technology is a bit brittle. You'd imagine we've got on-prem servers. We have desktop applications that were no longer under support from the vendors.
Sure.
And things would break, frankly. So it required a lot of scrambling within the city to make things work when we'd have an outage. And we were sort of stuck in our ability to really expand and make it a more dynamic system. So we were looking for something cloud-based. And beyond that, we're looking for something where we could really control our destiny going forward. We don't want to be in a place where we're incredibly reliant on vendors or implementation partners to do everything for us. We want it to be in a place where we build it out and then something that we can support for our partners in the various departments within the city so they can get out and do the services, really, really efficiently for our residents.
Yeah, amazing, which actually gets right into the next question I wanted to understand. What made you guys choose Creatio? It sounds like this idea of the citizen developer and empowering your users to make these changes was a big factor in that.
One of the key points that we saw in Creatio was having that ability to continuously build an efficient system that serves our, departments, people in the public works department, people in the transportation department, all those folks. And, and that eventually leads to better services for our residents.
Talk to me a bit about that difference in experience now for the citizens and the enhanced services that you guys are working to provide.
Right now, we are months into the process, and we already have about half the calls coming into 311. What we were doing is making the experience within the 311 contact center, which again is 24/7, 365. We've equipped them with a much better system for taking in calls. And then we're going to be building integrations with our 311 app. So it's very much starting with the back end. The real evolution to the front end will sort of have to come after that.
Tell us a bit about the actual, 311 service and process. What sort of things did the citizens request through there?
It's really anything that you can imagine. First of all, there's a variety of just information that people want. They call into 311 and they want to know everything from when is my trash day? How do I get my dog license?
Yeah.
How do I deal with that? How do I deal with getting a birth certificate? There's thousands upon thousands of topics that people call into the city for. But then as far as requesting services, there are any number of departments. We have dozens of departments that we work with to get these services fulfilled. We have a listing of 180, 200 something service types. But what we came to understand as we're building this out is that that's actually not a very effective way. Every issue related to, let's say, a domestic animal, that my neighbor's dog is barking too much. My neighbor won't clean up after their dog. Do we need service requests for that? Or do we need just a single service request that is related to domestic animals? And then have a series of questions can then be sent, and then the answers to those are then sent out to the departments. So we've been as we're going through this process, we're really simplifying this with the residents' viewpoint in mind to make their lives easier. And then if they've got an easier experience, that means we're going to get better information to the departments and get those services delivered more efficiently.
Obviously, being in governance is a big part of making sure that your technology is secure, stable, the right controls, processes are in place. So tell me about the role of governance when you think about this no-code development. How do these two things fit together within your organization?
Yeah, so for governance, we're starting with a fairly centralized management system. So stuff staying within IT, within my team. Over time, we plan on expanding administrative capabilities to some extent where it is absolutely necessary. So 311, the contact center can add, new information that will help them track calls a little better. But largely, we are going to be pretty centralized, at least for a while, until we've learned the needs and start seeing the pain. That is sort of critical to how I approach this.
Long history of working with technology products. You bring a lot of expertise and experience to that. If you had to boil the difference down to, one thing or one area that you see that Creatio helps bring some benefit to within your organization, what would that be?
Yeah, for me, it's speed. The speed of development, or speed to release, or speed to iterate, speed to prototype. That to me is kind of everything. That like we have a notion or something that we can roll out to improve the experience. I can ask somebody on my team to prototype something, put it together, and then we can put it in front of them and get feedback. Right? That is a very, very short timeline for that. Yeah. And it doesn't require somebody who's deeply experienced in the platform to maybe bring that into being.